is Faith John. And Fran asked me if I would do one of these morning mannas, so I hope you enjoy this. I was thinking about a topic to do, and I thought about waiting. What are we doing while we are waiting to get back to normal? How many times a day do you say, I can't wait for blah, blah, blah? You know, fill in the blank. I can't wait for vacation. I can't wait for school to be out. I can't wait to go out to dinner at my favorite restaurant. I can't wait to see my grandkids and hug them again. I can't wait for blah, blah, blah. You know what I can't wait for? I retire in 3 class days from this recording, or from this publication. BCU's last day of class is April 28th. And trust me, I cannot wait for that day to end, because teaching online has been really, really hard this semester. But think about all the things you want to do when you're done waiting through this time period. But don't waste this time. Use it. Use it for benefit for yourself, for your neighbors, to grow closer to God, to develop more of a prayer life. There's so many things you can do with this extra time. Not everybody has extra time. I realize that. I've been actually busier, and my husband has been busier. But a lot of people do have extra time. How can you use that time? And the first thing I want to talk about is people who waited. The first one I want to talk about is in Mark 5. It's the woman who had the hemorrhage for 12 years. You know, our little 6-week quarantine in our nice, comfortable homes, for the most part, not everyone is in the same boat, has not been a struggle. It has not been a hardship compared to this woman. Here it says that she had a hemorrhage for 12 years. That's a long time to be sick. And had endured much at the hands of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was not helped at all, but rather had grown worse. After hearing about Jesus, came up in the crowd behind him and touched his cloak. For she thought, if I just touch his garments, I shall get well. And immediately the flow of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of her affliction. So Jesus did heal her immediately. But think about the desperation in that woman for waiting and waiting and waiting. You don't think she had to conduct her life, had to go to work, make a living, and suffered during this time period? Another one, I think about someone who had to wait a long time, was the man at the porticos, where he had been there for 38 years, waiting. So he was at this portico, and a multitude was there. They were sick, blind, lame, withered, waiting for the moving of the waters. And I'm sure he thought, if I can just have somebody help me get in there, I could be made well. But he waited there for 38 years. Finally, Jesus comes up to him, because he knows his plight, and he says, do you wish to get well? Of course he wishes to get well. Of course. And so Jesus does heal him. He says, do you want to be made well? Sure I do. But think about the 38 years he sat there, and he waited and waited and waited. We don't know what some of these people did while they were waiting. I mean, think about 38 years ago. What were you doing? I was in college. All the things that have gone by in my life, and this man had been sitting there through what would be a normal lifespan. So think about, while you're waiting, what are you going to do? And I just have some thoughts on that. How can you become more Christ-like during this time? Can you read the Bible more? I certainly do. I love reading the Bible. I get up and I think, what is God going to tell me today through his word? I love it. So if you don't have a Bible reading plan, I encourage you to use this time to get into God's word. Pray more. Every time you wash your hands, supposedly 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Every time you wash your hands, think, who can I pray for right now? My spouse, my children, my parents, our leaders, the doctors and nurses. Who can you be praying for? While you're waiting during this time, think about your physical Are you getting exercise? Are you keeping your body fit? So there's so many things you can be doing to improve your life during this time period. If you have extra time, it's certainly a game changer for a lot of people. So maybe you don't have extra time, but it's you all are dealing with a change in your life. So think about how you can use this time to grow closer to God. Before you know it, this is going to be over and we're going to be all back together. Won't that be wonderful? So I'm going to close with this just a short little piece here. So enjoy.